21st century, mankind has colonized the last unexplored region on Earth, the ocean. As captain of the Seaquest and its crew, we are its guardians. For beneath the surface lies the future. Mankind has colonized the last unexplored region on Earth, the ocean. As captain of the Seaquest and its crew, we are its guardians. For beneath the surface lies the future.
Well, and hello, and welcome to another episode of It Could Have Been a Classic. Seaquest Dsv. It's a difficult one, this. It's a difficult one. It really is. 1993 till 1996. I remember this. It was advertised to buy comics a lot back then. The American ones, not the black and white British ones. It was the coloured ones. The actual ones they were quite hard to get hold of. I used to get them from newsagents. I used to have to order them, and every issue of that, a DC or a Marvel comic, at the back of the comic or some page in the comic, this was advertised. Steven Spielberg, producer, Roy Scheider, this is the future, and Seaquest Dsv. There you go, that's just one. I'd like to see this on Blu-ray. I just think it's worthy of that treatment. So, Roy Scheider. I nearly said Roy Scheider then. Roy Scheider, the clone of Kirk Douglas, I always thought, Iron Spartacus. Master of Jaws 1, 2 and 3 or whatever, I don't know, but it was the first 2 Jaws movies. I don't really get into. I did see Jaws in 3D. Roy Scheider is Captain Nathan Bridger of the Seaquest Dsv, deep submergence vehicle, deep sea vehicle, set in I think the year 2018 actually. I think it's now, So what happens, it's like, well, the world's a bit of a different place. In the history there was a war or something over near the trench and it could have destroyed worlds and it'll have been over. So, I mean, you do get hints about it, and out of this was created the UAO, United Earth Oceans, like a UN of the world, a Starfleet. And the world, for some reason, it's in confederations, zones and countries. I mean, it's a bit crazy, because this is where I think they lost themselves with a lot of this. They created this world, well, I don't know, it's not like today. It's totally different. Now, I've got a love for Seaquest Dsv, and people can say, whatever they like about it. I have a love for this programme. I don't ask me why. I've watched it all. How this started. Well, it started in season 1. You get the crew. Nathan Bridger gets called back in to deal with some situation. He created the Seaquest to go on a mission of exploration and have a crew of scientists and all the best people in the world. And it's all financed by the UAO. But the Seaquest is the most advanced, powerful submarine in the world. Nothing can touch this thing. Firepower, second to none. It can go to any depth. There's no restriction. This thing is way advanced. I'll tell you something, I love this thing today. And it had that futuristic feeling to it. The bridge looked incredible. Like the uniforms, it was just so bloody cool. And then we got into the dolphin. Now the dolphin, they did use the dolphin, but it was mostly it was the model, honestly, yeah. So, but they did have the talking dolphin. I love dolphins, but they did sort of like they tried to touch on a number of things with this about the dolphin and spirituality. It was like the dolphin and new things, and Nathan Bridger lost his son during some war, and it affected him, and his wife died, and he didn't want to get into war. But there's some situation in pilot episode where somebody trained up, she's got a squad of these killer submarines, she's going out taking out these colonies and that, and he's called in to stop her because he trained her. And with Seaquest Dsv, there is a lot of politics going on. That's what I quite like about this. There's a lot going on in the UAR, and it was sort of quite interesting. It flows along in the background. We got Ted Raimi, he's like a computer genius or communications. The beautiful Stacey Haydeck, she's doing something. And you got Jonathan Ford second in command. I found he were quite useless as the second. Obviously he has his moments, but yeah, he's not like he's no Riker. Do you know what I mean? But he is likeable. And then you've got Nathan Bridger, the greatest submarine commander in the world. Is he up there with Admiral Nelson from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea? Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, we're going to go there shortly. So first season is quite interesting. It's a lot of about the environment, colonies, changing the world, and they got some really big stars in this. Charlton Heston was in an episode where he created like underwater people, and he was the scientist, and he was about 100-year-old because he'd worked out a way not to age. He created this environment. I mean, there were all kinds of stuff, and there were quite a few big stars in this. So, I mean, the money was splashed on the first series, and then you got the stunning Stephanie Beacham as Dr. Fail, and she's this sort of like genius doctor, and they come into some weird stuff. And there's a bit of an attraction, the standard line of her and the captain, there could be something there. There's a bit of potential. You know it could develop, but it never does. And we go along with these certain episodes each week. There's an environmental disaster, or there's some mission at a weird colony under the sea, or they find something, or there's some baddie in the background, or environmental terrorists. I mean, there's all kind of greedy corporate. I mean, it's all in first season, which, first season moves along quite nice, and then we get the weird episodes. The one with the dead ship, with the ghosts on board, which I actually quite enjoyed that episode. It was pretty good. The ghosts, how they had to set them free, they were reliving this day on this ship, and that was sort of, they got that in. And then there's the episode where they find a spaceship, an alien spaceship that's been buried for millions of years, and aliens they wake them up, and things are happening on the ship, and the aliens are not evil, they're quite friendly, but obviously they're after the ship, and these aliens are doing weird stuff, and I think that they're like copies of original aliens, but the ship vanishes. Because I don't know, it just vanishes. And they piss off, and they're going to come back at some point. Then there's the good old Kent McCord, from Farscape. His dad, he's in and Battlestar Galactica. Kent McCord, I like Kent McCord. He's a really good. I like him as an actor. He seems quite a nice guy in real life. I've never met him, but he just seems like I like it. He just seems like he's an interesting character when he plays these he's always he's always playing some kind of official sort of character in his suit. Do you know what I mean? He's been to Mars, and the ship crashes on Earth, and they've got to rescue him, but this dictator gets him, and all that, and there's a lot of stuff going on like this, and then we get the standard. We get Lucas Wallencheck, played by Jonathan Brandis, the child genius who nobody cares about, and he gets dumped on Seaquest because his dad's a billionaire and he's financing their part of their mission, so he has to go with it. And him and Bridger develop this like father-son relationship, and it gets very interesting because it's like a substitute son for Nathan Bridger. They have this amazing relationship, and it works. Him and Jonathan Brandis work really well. It's a sad story. He killed himself, didn't he, Jonathan Brandis? And I really think he could have been a good. I think he should have got a lot further. But I won't go into all that. I was just checking out Wikipedia today about he was only 27. But I liked Jonathan Brandis. I liked his character, you know, and it just worked, the chemistry. You got Commander Ford, like I said, he's not a bad commander, he's a bit useless and he's a bit not. And you've got this interesting crew. First season's quite... They had a direction with it, and it sort of works. And in final episode, we get through to end up first season, and the Lou Wallencheck's dad has created this power conversion system to power the world or something. It's going to put free energy from Earth for a magma tap or something. It all blows up. And they save his dad and all that. And anyway, they have to sacrifice the Seaquest and they evacuate, but they stop this global disaster. And that is quite a nice cliffhanger where this went on. And now we've got to realise Seaquest won quite a few awards, especially for introduction music. Now at the end of each episode, you got Bob Ballard, this oceanographer or scientist. He'd talk about some like sea thing, you know, in the ocean, and it was really interesting. You get like, they give you a bit of like environmental information and about manitoos and all this, and it was cool. The Seaquest were family viewing. It was for everybody. Seaquest is not a difficult thing to get into. It's in a way, it's like, it's nice to watch. Then we get season 2. Season 2. What the fuck? Yeah, we're at one of them moments, a WTF. Season 2 got rid of most original cast. Stephanie Beacham, gone. Stacey Haydock, gone. You know, Craig, I like Craig from first season. He's a bit of a con man, you know. He's one of these standard kind of likes card games and womanising. He's a bit, gets older stuff and sells it on shit, makes money. There's a great thing, he wants a beef burger, because in world they don't eat beef burger, they have this imitation stuff. Something to do with ozone. So they're not allowed to eat beef burger, and he gets hold of some meat. And through the entire episode, they're dealing with this sort of stuff. Like, he actually gets to cook his beef burger, this beautiful looking beef burger, and Bridger catches him, and he takes it off him. He's like, the whole hour has been for him to cook this masterpiece of a beef burger around main store. It's like the comedy aspect, and he's just got it, and he's about to bite, and Bridger walks and takes it off him. And even he's going to bite it, because he hasn't had one for years because he can't eat meat or something. It's not like it because something happened. I think cows, but I don't know. It's like there's the meat ban. I think it's all methane and that. And he's tempted to bite this big, beautiful burger, and he throws it in a bin. But Craig's character was really good, and I was so hoping he'd go into second season. Gone. So in second season, we get young and good looking. Everybody's younger than, apart from Ford, second in command. Everybody's quite young. Like, don't get me wrong, I forgot her name, Katie, something said they've got, is it Carol Allen? She's stunning. I mean, they're both stunning, they're both the women, they're both beautiful, and they're really good characters. And then you've got the hunky fellas. They're all like young and in the 20s. And apparently Roy Scheider wasn't happy about this. He turned around and said it was 21 Jump Street meets Star Trek. I mean, this is what he said. He got told off for it because he was annoyed where it was going. Well, in second season, it turned fucking ridiculous. It did. I mean, there is some sort of episodes. Well, the aliens come back from first season. That's just fucking ridiculous. They're bringing like some kind of like ancient Earth culture into it, connected to these aliens. It's all about a message about living life, and there's a big message in it. And it's quite boring. Aliens, I mean, they want that really exciting, really. And then the reverse time, and so it never happened. And there's only a couple of them I remember. And that's it. So we move along through season 2, through some god-awful episodes. I mean, there's some stinkers in this season 2. Some real stinkers. So we're moving along in season 2. First, we get the 170-foot alligator that woke up. You know, it's eating people, and then they knock it out and drop it back in iceberg and freeze it. Yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous. Then we get the killer plants. Now we're going voice to bottom and say I'm being serious. Killer plants. We get that. Then we get the episode where the guy does something with human subconsciousness and creates an actual force of evil that's growing, it's going to come alive. And then we get the artificial intelligence, which is downloaded with Nathan Bridges' brain, as now in this most super powerful warlike sub, and it's Nathan Bridges himself until he talks himself out of it and downloads himself. I mean, there is some decent episodes in there. I mean, Mark Hamill, he turns out, I love Mark Hamill, as this weird alien called the Stormer from this planet called Iberia, but he's been hiding on Earth from his own race because they've screwed their own planet up. And he's a teacher and a womanizer. And it all ends up, in comes Kent McCall, who's like, they find out he's an alien and all this. Because they're after this comet that crashes now. It's an alien that's come to kill Mark Hamill's character. Well, and anyway, it's called the Stormer and they kill it. And he has to leave Earth. And he says to Kent McCall's character, why don't you come with me? And they go off, they fuck off and go around, find universe. And so we leave that, and then we go through like more episodes. Then there's a horror episode of possession and all this. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is some decent episodes in it. I mean, there's even a Predator rip-off episode, and we get some new characters like Dagwood, the simpleton with super strength. They rip off a Frankenstein story. What's that? Message. Send message. I don't know what that's about. What's going on there? We don't need that. So we get like Dagwood, because in pilot episode we've got daggers, right? And they're this race called Gelf, genetically life form or whatever, genetically engineered life form. I mean, what's easy calling them that? I don't know what's going on there, but anyway. So we get to, it's a 2-part. It's not bad. So they built a new Seaview, and a new Seaquest. They built a new Seaquest, and all this comes into it on this mission, and they stop these gals from like destroying oxygen reclamators. Without there's 4 of them, we're all gonna die because they need 8%, But they're not meant to have kids, but they can have kids, but the kids are human. So they're called daggers, right? So, like, they have one on board ship called Dagwood, and he's a simpleton, and he's, like, got super strength. I mean, it's all bloody predictable. And, you do get to like his character, and then you get, like, Piccolo, who's got the gills. He can swim around underwater. He's all loudmouth and cheeky and cocky. And Edward Carter's this Lieutenant Brody is Mr. Perfect, and you've got them all on board. And Karen Allen, is it not? I forgot her name. She's the doctor. She's the telepath, but they sacked her at the end of the second season because nobody likes her. Apparently, she wasn't popular. She's lovely though, and Kathy, she's She drives the submarine. She's really nice. But that's just, the women in this are really strong characters. Do you know what I mean? And they're quite empathic, which I quite like. Now, there is some wonderful stuff in season 2 that keeps you hooked. Seaquest Dsv keeps you hooked. You don't give up on it, and this is what I find fascinating. Now, I understand, I can see where Roy Scheider were going with this. Do you know what I mean? Because I think he wanted to get into something with a message, something a bit powerful. Now, UEO is like Starfleet Command, and all these weird colonies is the submarine going around sort of investigating and solving weird problems. Now, there is a lot of politics with UEO if you get your head round it, which is quite good. But with these zones and confederations and rest of it, I think they got lost somewhere in this creative universe of Seaquest Dsv. I think it all got a bit confusing, you know, because cast were dropping out and they were sacking them and bringing them back. Roy Scheider were carrying on and all this, and Lucas Wolacek, you like him? I mean, I do like Jonathan Brandis' character. I like his relationship with Nathan Bridges, said, and it seems to work. The crew seems to get quite along nicely. Now, there is an episode where you do get into their lives. You do see some of their lives, like Piccolo. You see his mother, she's taking drugs to make herself look younger. You do with certain members of the crew. Ford, you meet his dad, who's a multi-millionaire, who's got some corporation. And then there's an episode where all crew get together at Bridges' house and have a barbecue. There is some sort of interesting stuff, and you do get to see life on Earth outside of Seaquest, what the world's like. And I like it for all this. Because in all the, even though there are all these exotic blue-skied locations, there seems to be a lot going on in the world, even though you can't get your head round half of it. That there's a load there with politics and how people live. And, you know, they've got the internet and a lot of things now, which some of the technology is probably here today, which is sort of interesting. It's like when Bridges on his motorbike, he gets his license plate scanned and he gets he gets a message on his motorbike helmet telling him he's been fined. And this is what's great about it. There's a lot in Seaquest Dsv. There is so much in there. And the potential of this series was pretty awesome. And the problem was they didn't know what they were doing with it. This is my conclusion. There is some standout episodes in this, like with the Greek gods, which I thought were fascinating when Neptune got his trident and stuck it round Seaquest. I mean, yeah, it must have been like 2,000 foot tall. He got trident and stuck it round Seaquest. And, you know, we build along to some really cool episodes. So we get to, like, the season final. And on the DVD, it's like the horror episode is after this, but this was season final. Because we used to get it on ITV, Yorkshire TV, at R5 on a Saturday. It was like challenging Doctor Who. And, you know, watching it, I don't think Doctor Who went on when Seaquest, but I don't think it was. Sorry, I'm wrong. So, like, we get to the final episode where Kent McCord appears again. Now, the thing is, there is continuity in the Seaquest universe. Things do connect over episodes, and that's quite good. You do sort of get reminded what happened 4 episodes back, which is brilliant. Kent McCord turns up as a hologram. You needed Nathan, go to this trench, the Christmas tree. So they take Seaquest there. There's a big UFO in the sky. Big claw picks Seaquest up and it fucks off back to their planet, and it's a water planet. And they're being used by aliens. Well, these aliens, they're not that advanced. What it's making out, what they do is they send these, like, stormers out in an asteroid. Their job is infiltrate a planet, steal all their technology and go back to their own planet and bring it back to their leaders. Now, they've had a big civil war. There's been 2 races that have had this civil war. Well, Mark Hamill comes from the other lot have fought against the Storm, the Kretax or whatever they're called. And there's only one big mothership. And what happens is there's a battle. I mean, there ain't really much. They really like Seaquest because they've been played along by these evil aliens. When Kent McCord turns up, because you think he's dead, he turns up and says, look, you're all being played. Kill the evil Mark Hamill, rescue him. Seaquest gets done by a barium mine or something it's called. It's like it gets old and it sinks. They're going to nuke this spaceship and use all the weapons. Lucas and Dagwood character. I mean, I don't Dagwood. I mean, really, after a while, he's like this big giant kid. It just gets on your fucking nerves, quite frankly. I mean, he's likeable, but he's annoying. And they get destroyed, and it's said they get a little sub, and they're floating around on a dinghy looking for fuel on an alien planet because the Stinger they were in's run out of fuel, and they're in a dinghy. Just floating around. You don't know what's happened. UFO gets blown up because Bridger sets off the charges what they're planning. So that's it. It finishes where him and Dagwood are floating around rubber dinghy. It's a WTF moment, and that's it. That's the end of season 2. That it's finished. And you're like, what? Why did they even go to this planet? So, oh yeah, there's more. Seaquest season 3. 2032. God. This is when it had to be cancelled, right? So, it all starts off for a new season, right? Which it got financing for. Right, they got rid of some cast. In comes Hardman Michael Ironside. No bullshit man himself. And I've read what he said about it. It's quite interesting. He wanted to be like a war captain and all this. So, and he didn't want to talk to Dolphin, you know, because I like the Dolphin, even though it is a bit, but that's for kids, you know. So in comes Warhorse Michael Ironside, Captain Oliver. He spent 12 years looking for Seaquest on every sub going. Do you know what I mean? Because what's happened? Well, they've been out on this planet for 12 years. Now, this is bloody stupid, right? It's Seaquest that turns up in a big field, right, on Earth, right? And alt crew turn up in, like Jonathan Ford, he works up in an hotel in a shower. And his girl, she obviously is having an affair with her now, driving something. They wake up in this hotel room in it's like 12 years later. And alt crew end up in different places all over the planet with no memory of where they've been. They all start getting arrested and where's Seaquest been and all this. Well, what's happened is this evil power called the Macronesian Alliance has took over half the world and they're invading everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. Anyway, Seaquest turn up and then Shida turns up, Nathan Bridger, and tells them what happened. So it doesn't really explain what the fuck went on that planet for 12 years. Yeah, why did they get sent back 12 years later? And how did they get sent back? Because they destroyed Mothership. They only had one ship because they weren't that advanced. They stole that. So anyway, it doesn't matter. They're all back on Earth. Anyway, he gets Seaquest to fit it up and they go after it. And there's this dodgy corporation called Dion International. And it just gets stupid. It really gets stupid. You got him from Logan's Run. I forgot his name. You know what I'm on about. Is it Michael? Oh, I forgot his name. You know him from Logan's Run, the movie. He's great actor. I love Logan's, one of my favourite films. But I forgot his name now. Well, he's the head of the Macronesian Alliance. And then you've got Dion International. And they just basically dominate half at will. And UAR, the big kids on block. But now Seaquest is back. Everybody's shitting themselves, especially led by Captain Oliver. And each week it's political intrigue and the Macronesian Alliance setting up a situation. And it's bollocks. It is season 3 was terrible. And then we get to a secret race of humans where they're like ninjas, but they live under sea and they're connected to the technology and all this. And because Captain Oliver loses their pilot, she's an hotshot sub-pilot, and she replaces her. I think that was planned. And they turn up. They're like a small nation, but nobody will go near them because they're at war. They're like Romulans in Star Trek. And the Macronesian Alliance are the Klingons. and the UEO is Starfleet. And Captain Oliver, he's the captain of the Enterprise. Now, this is where we're at in this political situation, and it were crap. There's one decent episode, one, in the 13 episodes, where they go back in time and stop the Cuban Missile Crisis, which I thought was a fantastic episode. It worked perfectly well, because they dropped the science fiction element in season 3, and I thought that was a big mistake. Now, and that was it. It got cancelled. They pulled the plug, got rid of it. It sunk ratings. It were over. Now, Seaquest never got a chance for me. I think with first season it's quite stable and it offers a lot. And you could move in, like in first season, there's a couple of science fiction episodes or a bit over the line episodes. It worked. It worked beautifully. It had this sense of sort of realism, not realism, but this sense where you could relate to it. You know what I mean? And then science fiction element moved in nicely, or the fantasy element, which were really cool. It works so well. And then season 2, we were all over the place. It was Voyage at Bottom at Sea. Now, I love Voyage. I do. But Voyage outran this. It went to 4 seasons. You know what I mean? So, Nathan Bridger and the crew, they should have outdone this. They should have outdone Voyage at Bottom of the Sea. They should have got 5 to 6 seasons with a story arc where this could have all gone somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Seaquest Dsv had so much potential to be far better than what it was. It's good. A lot of people love it. A lot of people don't really panic. But there's some stinkers in there. But there's 1 or 2 classic episodes, and it also spread the message of the environment. They really got that across, and it was family viewing, but it had that feeling. It tried to be something it couldn't. Instead of just being Seaquest Dsv, it would have worked. But it went all Star Trekking up its ass, and that finished it. And season 3, it was just ridiculous, except that 1 episode. I'm not knocking Michael Ironside. He's a fantastic actor, and the cast in this, even though they kept changing it all, they kept like some of the main characters, but they kept adding all these younger ones because they wanted to get the ratings teenager audience in. But the writing, there is some standalone episodes in this that work, and Nathan Bridger, Roy Scheider is a superb actor, and he played Nathan Bridger, and I would have liked to have seen him develop like Jean-Luc Picard. Do you know what I mean? Seaquest Dsv should have ran, fuck it, 7 seasons. I think it had that potential. The budget, the special effects, even now, well, the special effects sort of hold up. The submarine does, but there's never any fish in water, which is a bit odd. But it holds up to a point. You know, they got rid of Royce the Applegate. He was like head at security. I liked his character. They got rid of him. He came back. They got rid of Craig. These are characters that could have gone all the way. But there was a lot of politics involved. So I'm going to say Seaquest Dsv, it could have been more than just a classic. It could have been a legend. Do you know what I mean? And I think Seaquest Dsv could have opened it up to other things in the Seaquest universe. There is so much potential in this, but there's a lot of bad as well. But the concept and what it was works. So, you know, I'm going to give it, could have been a classic. I'm going to say it could have been a legend, but it didn't do it, did it? But it's so, we have to go down to could have been a classic. Do you know what I mean? It's such a shame. It's a master. It could have been so good. But I've got all 3 seasons. You can't, season 3 you can only get on region 4. They never released it over here on DVD, did they, in the UK? Because nobody watched it. It was terrible with season 3. It was just fucking murdered it. So anyway, that's my could have been a classic. It should have been legend. It should have been up there with Next Generation. Almost. Seaquest Dsv should have had... I'm not comparing it to Next Generation. But Seaquest Dsv, it should have had its own up there thing, you know what I mean? It could stand up there with the greats. Seaquest Dsv should have been a true classic, and far more than what it was. It didn't need to be Star Trek. It didn't need to. All it had to be was Seaquest Dsv, and they fucked it up. But there is potential, and Seaquest Dsv could be done. If it were done today, I think it'd be amazing. There's so much, it could have gone in so many different directions. And that's what I like. And I like Nathan Bridget, a warrior with a heart, who's a tortured man as well. And starting to touch on that, and that's what I liked about it. You know, but yeah, I'm going to say it. But I'm not comparing it. I know I've said it 3 times. I am not comparing it to Star Trek. I think it tried to be Star Trek Under the Ocean, which didn't work for it. I think that was the thing that killed it. But the thing that it should have been is a whole new concept of this different world of exploration under the sea, like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. As insane as that was with the rock men and rest of weird things that were going on in that, you know, it stood out, didn't it? It lasted 4 seasons at 20 odd episodes. I know it was a different time, but Seaquest could have done it as well. I think Seaquest would have surpassed Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, because there were some amazing elements in there. So, could have been a classic. So it's episode 11, 1 more episode, and we will have done season 1 of Could Have Been a Classic. So guys, I will see you soon. I will be live Sunday at 7 o'clock. Let me know your thoughts on Seaquest Dsv. You know, I'll see you on the next video. Have a great week. It's Monday, it's 12 o'clock, and I'm going to bed. So I'll upload this tomorrow. So guys, Sunday at 7 o'clock. Have a great week, and yeah, I'll speak to you all soon. Live long and prosper. And I haven't turned this off yet. Could have been a classic.